All right, everybody, we march on. Let's start the 2018 season, or at least the process to starting said season. Again, we have the custom schedule sorted. It's an open week 1, but we will be playing UNLV, Buffalo, and then, of course, some conference games. Non-conference is Air Force, Wyoming, and then an open week in week 10. So Buffalo and Wyoming are back on the board. UNLV, a new addition. The red shirts, let's go over this team. We got very aggressive last year and it worked out. Let's see what we do this year. At quarterback, John Paul Jones. Red Rockets, Megatron 3000, and the one and the only.
No touching! No touching!
No touching. I think we are going to redshirt no touching. It is a bit of a risk, of course. He was a 4-star quarterback. But based on who's ahead of him, it makes sense to be risky about it because we're not going to redshirt JPJ. Running backs, Mahoy Manoy Ahoy Matey, Ocean Gate Submarine, Invalid Username, Swab Me Porthole, and A-Craft Carrier. Hate to say it, but again, because we have Invalid Username, I have to be aggressive. Carrier's going to get the red shirt this year. If he leaves, so be it. We're not totally screwed because we have Invalid Username, who is awesome. Fullbacks, NIOJ et YVAN. I can never say join the Navy backwards. Like, I can always hear the Simpsons song, but I can't say it. And Hunky Dory at fullback. Wide receivers, Dobie fucking with that missile. Donnie Jepp, Captain We're Sinking, William Henry Harrison, You Sunk Me Battleship, Edward Kenway, Torpedo Dinghy, and Crash is playing. Not a single person can be sat out this year. At tight end, Juan McGummy, Socks is the 8th dwarf, and Laddies, I Can't Swim. Again, not going to redshirt anybody. Left tackle, Where's Me Floaties with Bread Starbucks meme. The left guard, Sub McMissile and JJ Frankie JJ. At center, Hear Me Out and Mike Ditka. Football. Ditka. Right guard, Kyle Sackrider and What's a Pass. And at right tackle, Captain Morgan. Roughing the passer, who I didn't even plan on redshirting this year. He was already, well, I actually did plan on redshirting him. He was already redshirt for some reason. We didn't go through that. Interesting. He is going to sit out the year, though. And Jabron Lames, the 4th. That is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are also going to redshirt JJ Frankie JJ. Hopefully, he doesn't leave. Defensive end. Armor Abs Crabs. Oh no, oh god, oh shit, oh fuck. Not a boulder is a rock. And Landon the port side. On the right, Sal the Seas. Oh no. And Let Me Dry the Boat. It's another big risk because this is one of our big recruits. Is a rock is going to sit out for the year for the betterment of the team long term. If he leaves, then hey, it's not quite the betterment of the team long term, but it is what it is. Defensive tackle, Numb Legs the 2nd. Tukey is Lames. General Booty. Richard Belding. And the Titanic Iceberg. Left outside linebacker, How Do I Tackle? Magically Delicious, and oh my god. Middle linebacker, Kerry Von Erich, Dingus Cringelord, and Barricade. And on the right, King Tuga IV, Squilliam Fancy Son, Precious White, and Ho Robinson. At corner, and actually in fairness, linebackers, yeah, there wasn't a single guy I could redshirt this year. That's why it felt like something was missing, but not one person can sit out. At corner, Ash Ketchum. She came down in a bubble, Doug. Russ Shanspy. Eye Drop. Jackson Flaxen Waxen. Goes down with the ship. And Krusty Krab. This is a tough one. I think Eye Drop is going to sit out for the year. Try to get him off center with Shanspy and Flaxen Waxen so we don't lose them all in the same year. We're also going to redshirt Krusty Krab this year to try and offset him with the goes down with the ship. Again, very aggressive, but it's got to be done. At safety, Forrest Gump, I'm Open, and Domingo Both Meets. And at safety as well, I'm afraid of water, Swabby, deckhand, and birth control. Obviously, I'm afraid of water will play. However, do we sit out Forrest Gump for the year? Have I'm open be the starting safety? I think we do. We'll keep Domingo both meets there. Like I said, we're going to be aggressive in some ways. Sit in 85, so that way he's still a junior. Gump would still be a junior next year. Keeps us better long term. And then obviously a kicker, Kevin Von Erich at punter, Peter Nuggy Jones. Getting very aggressive with some of the red shirting again this season, but it does have to be done. That said, in looking at the team, we've talked about maybe departing from the Navy playbook as much as we can. As much as we should, I should say. We have an awesome crop of wideouts. We do have a really damn good running back as well. But I think now's the time to opt away from said playbook. We could obviously go with a numerous amount of teams, or we could go with the more generic options. And I mean, the spread option or the spread seems to be our best option, given the fact that we have a fast quarterback and we have the other options. Air Force keeps triple option but gives you some shotgun. We could switch to Air Force just to be able to make the most of the receivers but still have the triple option. I'm okay with that. Just gonna drop that back down to 50. Well, I forget. Let's go more pass offense. That's what it should be. 40 run offense and the pass offense. Right? Or is it this way? I always forget. It should be this way is more passing. That was always a point of contention. Defensively, multiple D is still fine. Still, yeah, we'll hold off on some of the aggression there. Definitely not the air raid. Want the Air Force. I double tapped over quite a few times. It didn't go. I thought it did. So thanks for the reminder there. So that sets us up then for the final part. Although in fairness, the air raid offense will work out pretty well. A lot of people shouting out Oregon. I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you think? Oregon or Air Force? I don't have to throw it to a poll. What do you think? I gotta take a look at the defense again in a second anyway. So, or for a quick second, I should say. What's shouting out Oregon? I think we're going to switch to a 3-4 this year. We got the linebackers to do it. All right. So philosophy. We will go with the Oregon offense and a 3-4 on defense. That is the plan. And of course, that'll change now what it shows our team needs to be. We know there's going to be a lot of them. This is going to be some very tough couple of months. So technically, it is one wide receiver, one kicker, 4 middle linebackers, and a punter. Those are the top priorities. Okay. The number 2 recruit in the nation has interest in us. Okay. Really quickly at quarterback. Here's the thing. We could still go for some of the 5 stars. At the same time, though, I really need to be careful and make sure I improve in other aspects. Fuck. Like, it would be smart of us to be like, hey, let's focus on a fullback, and there's actually a really good one in Donovan Sullivan who's interested in us. There's always temptation to be like, let's get the best quarterback we can, the best wideout, because these guys are interested. But man, I am leaning towards locking down needs first, unless they're a 5-star, is my thought. But even then, we could approach the 5 stars. But for the moment, for the fullbacks, we know Sullivan's interested. Could take a look at fullbacks just to see who amongst them is the best there. None of the wide receivers that are 5 stars are interested. Did we have any 4 stars that are interested? Yes, we did. It's so tough to pass on talent like that, but we have to, man. At tight end, there is a 5-star tight end. I am going to want to talk to that guy. There's quite a few 4 stars and then 1 3-star in Bobby White that's interested in us. And right now we're in the scouting portion. A lot of kicker and punter options. And then a lot of middle linebackers. One thing I did forget to do was reset my skill tree, but to be honest, it's pretty much set up the way I wanted it to be. I'm just trying to decide how we want to go about this, because it's very difficult to look at a 5-star recruit that's interested in you and to not potentially talk to him. How many 5 stars are there in general? There's a lot this year. And there's an outside linebacker, Eric Newsom, who is interested in us. There's 34 5 stars this year. Willie Nelson. Unbelievable. The vast majority of these 5 stars, we dropped off a cliff for them after the first week. So it might still be worth seeing. It's just a big risk. I don't know how I want to do this. There's just different options, you know? There's still go for the 5 stars at the top and then fill out the needs after, which honestly didn't work out too well last year. Filling out the needs afterwards didn't really work. But in the past, get the needs first and then go after people did fetch us a couple of options. So for that reason, we have to go for needs first. We have to. The only 5 stars I'm going to add to the board, though, are guys that are interested in us. The rest of them we're not going to try to push for. But the ones that are interested, we'd be dumb not to at least try. You know? So, again, in terms of positions of need, I wouldn't mind an upgrade at fullback. That's where Sullivan comes in. We got the other 3 stars, who I'm going to scout. Tight end. We got to fight for Henley. I mean, we do need an elite tight end. There's a lot of 4 stars there. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to scout these guys either, just to see who's half decent. It's not like a huge position of need immediately, but it would be nice to get an upgrade. I mean, O-line help is always nice too. Okay. So for these fullbacks here, I just need to know who the best of the best are that we can target. We're going to have to do a lot of scouting this season anyway. So. Ernie Ingram, 80 overall. Okay, so obviously the 3 that are above a 70 will be the 3 that we can kind of keep in mind right now. If we can land one of these guys, cool. If we can't, well, it's not the end of the world, but that'd be good to get that upgrade. The 5-star tight end, only a 74, but he's still a 5-star tight end. Doesn't leave us with as many points as I wish that I had right now. Again, we do need a wide receiver as well, but it could be that athlete. A lot of 4 stars who are interested. least comparatively. This is tough, man. There's just a lot more talent interested in us than I thought there would be. And that really complicates things. We need to scout out Hayward. Quarterback, wide receiver, running back. He could be that wide receiver that we want, but 91 throw power. Someone you typically want to cultivate into actually being a quarterback, but he very well could be the running back or the wideout that we need, excuse me. So maybe for the moment, we do consider him to be that guy. Kicker, a punter, and then a shitload of linebackers. In terms of the athletes, he was the only athlete that was interested in this too, which is kind of crazy. A single punter was interested. You got a couple of kickers who are interested here too. Nick, it's getting there. Long process though. Long process. Okay, you know what? It's just I could sit here and overthink this all day long. It's a lot of people that we're going to have to scout out right now. I don't have to make any final decisions or anything like that. So let's just take a look at a few more options here. So Eric Newsom was a 78. Anybody else here that we didn't have scouted? Philip Chandler is actually insane. Nick, no, we haven't. Like I said, long process. 250 points left. We know we're going to have to scout out a lot of linebackers, so... start looking. And there are a crap load of linebackers. So, it's good we'll be able to use up the points, but... whew, man. We just can't do everything. We can't get everybody that we want to get. It's just not possible. We know that. That doesn't mean that it's not painful. That there's some talent that we could realistically get, but we shouldn't go after. That's what sucks. That is the initial recruitment board. Let's head into the 2018 season. Again, I know it's not wise to go after the 5 stars this year. It's just not a wise decision, unfortunately. Go for need and then try to steal away whatever 4s and 5s might be left towards the end of the season. That's the best way to do it. 6,000 points available to us here. And obviously, we have a lot to look at. So, I mean, we're going to have to fight like hell for one of those 3 fullbacks. Tight end Dan Henley, we're in the conversation for. And then obviously a million bajillion linebackers. None of whom we're immediately out for. Let's see, the best of the best. Jem and Tyler Hawthorne. Joe Robinson's definitely out. And we need 4 middle linebackers. I mean, technically we can get outside linebackers and move them over. What else do we have here? 81, a +7 for Kevin Nicholson. God damn. Well, the good news is there's a lot of good linebackers. There are a lot of good linebackers to go for. That is a pleasant surprise. I don't think we were immediately out on anybody. We weren't. That's good. There were these 2 corners, one that was interested and then the 1 5-star. We already have both of them scouted. Chandler, we know, was really good at kicker. And then Hayward. Okay. We got a little bit more soul searching to do here. So like I said, a quarterback, I'd love to go for the 5-star. There's no point. We do not need a quarterback. Quarterbacks do not exist right now. We do not need a running back. Running backs do not exist right now. Fullback, we have already targeted the best 3 of the bunch. I mean, technically, the dude that's a 69 overall wouldn't be that bad, although Ingram's the guy. I don't absolutely need a fullback. So if we're going after anybody this year, it's Ernie Ingram, and if I can't get him, well then fuck it, you know. Fix it later. So, that's the game plan there. We do need a wideout. At least one this season. The athlete was in that mix. We didn't absolutely need a tight end, but if we can push for Henley, we should. Not the highest rated in the world, but he's a 5-star. Let's not worry about any of the 4-stars. We didn't need any offensive linemen. But if we can get the 5-star, it's never a bad idea to go after a 5-star. Even 4-star Robbie Sanders would be great, but got to stay focused. Billy Matthews and Ryan Cunningham will be the same thing. If we can make a push for them, we will. We had all the 4-stars there. Middle linebacker, we had all the 4-stars there as well. Corner, we didn't technically need. We weren't first for that guy, though. And then safety, we don't technically need. But again, if there's a 5-star, let's look at him. So that is going to leave us, I would imagine, primarily looking at kickers and punters. I'd love to know what the hell these athletes are, but you know the vast majority of them are in skill positions, and again, that's pretty much not what we need. We know Hayward would be a wide receiver. So yeah, it's kickers, punters, and wide receivers that really need to be scouted out right now. Let's go back to the board, see if I can clear out a few more spots. So again, Ingram, that guy there, Henley. These 2 tackles are both really good. Defensive end Billy Matthews is really good. Ryan Cunningham, still pretty good. And then the million bajillion outside linebackers. This will be where we can cut off spots. 75 overall is going to be our cutoff, at least for the moment. We might have to restrict it even more than that. There's a crap load of good wide receiver, or linebackers, I should say. Wide receivers, too. Take Coley out. We'll take Brandon Williams out. Got the 2 corners. Pete Anderson at safety is really good. Okay. Let's start looking at kickers and punters here. And then we'll take a look at the athletes afterwards if I have enough points left. But every single 3-star kicker we are going to look at. See who the best of the best is. Focus on that. I imagine our one guy is the best of the best. But, again, we also need a punter. Anybody top? Chandler. 84 for Singletary. Oh, man. Woo. There is some talent at kicker. Damn. Except for Mike Green. So, like a 79 is pretty much the cutoff point right now, which is kind of insane. I mean, shit, you could argue that an 80 should be the cutoff for the sake of spots, and I think it has to be now that I look at it. Gotta aim to get some top-notch people. And then punter. Got 11 spots on the board. How many 3-star punters are there? More than that. Wow, there's actually quite a few. 1,500 points left. We are running out of points pretty fast. But actually, no, it was only 1,500 points used. I was going to say, that sounds more accurate. A lot of good punters. Okay. So we have most of our targets now for special teams. It's just who the hell are we going to be able to get? We got a few more punters that we have to add to the board. Right towards the bottom there with Schultz, Lowry, Clayton, and Arrington, I should say. All right, what do we got? Give me somebody good here. It's terrible. Clayton's not bad. We're finding quite a few busts, which is good. I mean, it gets us XP. So a lot of kickers and punters in the conversation. A lot. That leaves the 5-star athletes to add to the board just to see what these guys are about and if we should target them, just because, I mean, we'd be dumb not to, basically. So I'm going to go by overall first, and then we'll look at what they're actually good at. And surprise, surprise. Yeah, most of these guys are good. So let's see. Chris Adams is a coverage god. He's definitely defensive. Like, that guy's a corner. Or a safety. No doubt about it. That's it. That's what he is. Willis is a running back or wide receiver. Okay. I mean, that's nothing too crazy. Was he better than the guy at the top? Not really. Jamal Crenshaw, quarterback, secondary option. Okay. Scott Dukes, running back, wide receiver. He's a little bit slower than the other options. We're going to take Scott Dukes out of there. We had looked at Crenshaw before. What about Henry? Secondary option. He's fast as hell, too. Definitely into the secondary option. Chris Walter, secondary option. Isaac Sims, wide receiver, secondary option. And then Hayward, wide receiver. A lot of secondary options for the athletes. I wasn't expecting that. It's 34 players on the board right there. Then we don't have too much more room to negotiate. Again, we really didn't need anybody in the secondary. I just don't want to give up on them, but I don't really want to go person by person to look at the athletes here. How many more 5-star athletes are out there? Many, actually. 4 or 5. Yeah, 5 of them. Let's take all these guys off the board really quickly. Really quickly. So let's add White, Singleton, Bryant, Henry, Willie Nelson. And then at wide receiver, I said wide receivers don't exist, but we do technically need a wide out. We are going to look at the 5-stars just to see. Obviously, the athletes could push this. Shout out to Pop and Peppa, 11 months on the Prime. You're my 5-star streamer. What a guy. What just beautiful. I'm blushing. All right, let's get all these guys scouted here. Jem and Robert Bryant. Willie Nelson even goes up to a 78. Delightful. How the hell do we get this down to just 35 players to target? This is insane. How are we going to pull this off? All the top wide receivers on the board. We're literally going to be one short. Look at Eddie Berry. All right, the top wide receivers out there. All of them so far look good, except for Galloway. It's apparently very tough to go wrong when it comes to wide receivers in this class. How about if we get Willie Nelson? We keep his name, right? All right, we got that one extra wideout to look at. A little bit of a pain in the ass that I have to do it this way. Let's add Barry to the list. Back to the board. Good wideouts. Eddie Berry is a bust, so nothing too crazy there. So out of all of the athletes and all of the wide receivers, who's the best? We know overall wise, they're all pretty close. Looking at Barry, 92 speed. Set the wrong button. It's so slow too for a menu. 92 speed. Does Jackson have better speed? Like he should. He does. He has 93. And Swanson has the 94. They're all pretty damn good. The best of the best, though, are the top 5 that are all at least an 80 overall. Then there's the athletes, most of whom we know were better as members of the secondary, really. Except we're not going to be able to add everybody. One more look. I think we are about where we want to be. Again, makes sense to go after Ingram if we can get him. He'll probably be off the board pretty quickly. We got the 5 wideouts. We do need at least one of them. Really good tight end because it's a position to improve if we can get him. Same on the O-line. Same on the D-line. Crap load of linebackers. Yeah, we need 4 of them. 75 and up is probably a good way to go. A couple of corners in the mix. And then the kickers and punters, and then the one athlete in Hayward who we know could also be a wideout. So yeah, I think those athletes that could be in the secondary, it's just not it right now. Gotta be on. Okay, I gotta stop pretending. Gotta get rid of Pete Anderson. Gotta get rid of these guys. I would love to end up with them. I would love it, but we need the full court press for the positions in need, so fuck it. Just instead of divvying up like, oh, you get like 150 points this week, let's just try to solve the big issues out of the gates and then worry about the rest later. I'm trying to get too cute. At least we know if once we do have the opportunity to look elsewhere, what we can do, right? So we have 24 players on the board, all of whom that we do care about. Time to start handing out some scholarships, and then we'll see how many points we have left. So, and then we'll see how many of these guys kind of fall to the wayside after the first week. But the first week, man, it's always the most stressful when you have that many positions of need. Last year was easy. Just, yep, look for the 5 stars, try to get them. This year, not so much. So that leaves us with 1,500 points left. You divide that by 24, and that gets us about 60 points per person, plus the scholarship offers that were out there. So 60 points, obviously not much. It'll go up a ton heading into the next week, but we were able to scout out a bunch of people. I tried like hell to make it worth it going after some of those other guys. You could argue I wasted points by the end of it. You probably wouldn't be wrong. But I don't know. It felt worth it to try to make the math work, but the math just did not work. So we will see what happens here in this first week, and then hopefully we do not get shut down by the vast majority of people left. So we also don't play in week 1, which isn't bad. 24 targets for 25 scholarships. It is worth noting the old preseason poll does have the defending national champion Notre Dame at number 1. Michigan State, who lost in the finals, not there. Texas Tech up in the top 10 right now. And in terms of our future, 10, 21, and 15. We are expected to start taking a huge step up. No doubt about that. Let's see if we get some good news or some bad news here before our first game of the season, UNLV. Let's see what we can do here. We will see, we will see. On good news. Good news, good news, good news. Please give me some good news. That's not good news at all. One of the linebackers we were looking at insta-commits to Texas A&M. There we go. Moment of truth for the wideouts. Brandon Jackson's not going to happen. Tim Whaley's not going to happen. Cameron West isn't going to happen. Jason Swanson isn't going to happen. Jake Shaw isn't going to happen. Linebackers. We're in the lead for Newsome. It's not looking good for Rivers or Allen. We're out on Zach McIntyre. I was going to say Zane McIntyre, the goalie. Nicholson, we're looking okay. We're out on Scott. We're out on Victor Bryant, and then Ryan Lewis is gone. I'm going to take Rivers and Allen out now. I don't think it's going to happen. And the linebackers, Hawthorne will take out. Andrew White will take out. Shit. Kickers. Oh, we look a little bit better. Absolute disaster for the punters. Teams can make up 2,000. Why can't you? They get more points per week than we do. And then Glenn Hayward. Well, at the end of it, we're left with 2 kickers and 2 linebackers. That is not good. That is not good at all. Let's see who is left. We had quite a few 4-stars here and quite a few 4-stars that were interested. We will prioritize these 4-star wideouts who are interested. We can't even look for the 5-stars anymore. There is a chance that this is going to be an absolute disaster for us. As much as I hate to say that, it looks to be true. Scout out some of these 4-star athletes that are left in under 20%. I'm going to move it back to 20% instead of 30% that we were doing last year. And then for the linebackers, who's interested? Not looking good. Looking good. Quite a few 3-stars who are interested. This is not looking good. I had a bad feeling about recruitment this year. This is shaping up to be worse than expected. Oh, man. A lot of those wideouts are not very good. Shit. Oh, this is so bad. Joe Robinson, we know, was terrible. But at this point, we just need bodies. All right, let's take a look at a few more of these athletes. Finding a gem never hurts. All right, let's see. Perkins. Quarterback, not much of a wideout. Could be, yeah, he's more of a quarterback. Ryan Tucker, also more of a quarterback than anything else. Looks like he'd also be good in the secondary, but again, we don't need to focus on that right now. Jordan Jones, definitely more of a secondary option. He's fast as shit. Floyd, definitely more of a secondary option again. Houston, 67 catching. Again, looks to be better in the zone. 66 catching for Griffin. Can I get a freaking receiver out of this? Robert Young. Joe Neal. 74 catching, but his route running sucks. Okay, well, it looks like these two athletes, and even then, Brian Henry is not worth it. He's better in the secondary. So Robert Young's pretty much the only high-rated athlete that's worth going after to consider him a wide receiver. And then we have these other wide receivers there. So we only needed one wide out. We still got two kickers in the conversation. If we landed both of them, we'd be okay. It's technically at linebacker where we are hurting right now. A lot of the top guys have already said no. So honestly, 3 stars that are interested. Gotta start looking at the 3 stars that are interested and checking to see who the best of them are, because we know we're not getting the 4 stars. Shit. Okay. Let's look at these linebackers. We're fighting hard here. We are fighting hard. All right. Right now we will have 70 overall be the cutoff. Sorry to Mr. Abrams. Middle linebacker, we know Robinson's terrible. I'm just going to take him out. Jay Brown is a gem. Promising. Again, technically we needed middle linebackers, but again, like I said, we can move outside linebackers over. The middle linebackers this year suck. Or at least are very, very mid. So we've, dare I say, survived the first week. I mean, what do we have? 12 people. 12. That's 365 points per person. Actually, it's not, because we haven't handed out scholarships yet. This is going to be our worst recruitment year so far. Unless we just get crazy steals once all the other guys are actually signed. I don't see how we could view this positively at all. We didn't get a lot of the people that we needed early on. You know, we got dismissed by quite a few of the top targets we were looking at. So we're behind in every aspect. We're behind for top targets. We're behind for the position of need. This could be settling for a lot of 3-star dudes, is what this could be. And just desperately scouting the 3 stars to see if there's any gems amongst them with higher overalls. We are going to be struggle bussing all season long in terms of recruitment. So we can only hope that on the field we deliver like it looks like we should be able to. Sort by overall. It's that kicker Singletary. We actually had way more points available than I thought we did, but again, there was carryover with every point. Just start bumping this up. I mean, again, there's only 12 dudes, so how many points do we have left? I even go to 400? Did I do the math entirely wrong? I might have. No, I did not. Okay, I did do the math correctly. Those points go fast. My brain is just not... It's just not functioning anymore. There we go. Christ. This is going to be a rough year. Every time we start to get some positive momentum, results either on the field or off the field start to go wrong. And now we actually have to start getting back into the games.